am
Hey,
I
Addie.
still?
Hey,
Hello, how are you?
hey,
One
everybody.
second. I have
Oh,
to mute. Sorry. Go. Sorry, I had sound coming out of somewhere and I had to find it.
just like weird being live and like it's 8 o'clock and like the sun's still out behind me and like it'll be up for like an hour and a half still. Probably till this
Yes.
whole live.
You have the Lord on your shoulder.
I do. It's John Yates and Jesus here. Hi, everybody. Welcome tonight. I hope
Hello.
everybody did their homework. We have a lot to cover tonight. Let's say hi to everybody. Hey, Candy, Susan S, Michelle, Laney, Sheila, Rabbit, Patricia with a C, Shelly, Mia Clark, Snurk, Susie Q, not my real name, Rabbit, Addie, Barbie, Wicked, Shayna, Shauna, going down the road fast now, Brooks Nose, Little Shoe, Julie, Sarah Q, Geneva, Mish, not my real name, Coffee, MW, Steven, Franca, Sheila again. Did I get everybody? I think I did. Rita Skeeter, Linda. Okay.
And a special hello to all those in my chat. I see a new person. I think I see Mary Barcelona. Welcome. I don't recognize your name, and I'm glad you're here. I also I think you said everybody on my side. I see Reckless Grace. There's Reckless Grace. Hi over there. So if we missed you, just say you missed me, and I'll say hi in the chat.
By the way, like fun fact, like Julie just told me about like watermelon hearts. Like, put a 1 in the chat if you've ever heard of a watermelon heart before. I've never heard of a watermelon heart ever. Hey, Tenhead.
Hey,
Hey,
Beanie.
Beanie. Elizabeth.
Lisbeth.
Because
I have
in
not.
yeah,
They
never
sound good.
heard of watermelon hearts, but they seem to be very delicious.
So I'm going to tell my group again that anybody who's new, we have two lives going on at the same time, and our mods on both sides will drop each of our channels in both of the chats for us because I didn't pin them again.
It's fine.
So,
It's Sophie. And like my go-to melon is the cantaloupe. That is just a superior melon in my books. I really don't care for watermelons all that much. I prefer a succulent cantaloupe.
I'm
Cantaloupe.
there now. Yeah, when I was growing up, I had a hard time with cantaloupes. I struggled with the taste of it, but then I never was a watermelon person either. It's okay, but now as an adult, cantaloupes are I can't get enough of it. So you change.
Listen, Grace. Like, if you want to be bougie, like Julie, and call like okay, I've had plenty of watermelons before. Like, I've never seen oh, like is it in the dead middle of it? I don't know,
Oh,
but
like
it's
a
yummy.
artichoke heart.
Right? Yeah, I guess. So, and you could buy them separately and enjoy them. Hey, Wind Whispers. Because, this is a full scale type of show. Maybe Scott Peterson was eating watermelon hearts the day in question. We don't know.
I have no idea.
So let me put a quick feeler out there in the chat. After watching the first episode, has anyone's opinions may have kind of changed a little bit about whether, and again, we're not saying that Scott's man of the year. We're just talking about the May aspect of it. Is everyone still as 100% as they were a few days ago when we went live? Addie, can you put a poll up?
Oh yeah, let me do that real quick. You hold on real quick.
See?
I think I got.
Interactive. Like, we're
Let me
the
get.
future. Look at this.
Let me get John. I have to get John up. Take me 1 second. Ooh.
And again, you guys don't have to say like I completely changed my mind. Now I think he didn't kill her. I'm just saying like after watching the first episode, were you like, like maybe like, just like, well, that's all, just a thought. That's what I'm saying. Just like, now, mate, just a slightest bit of like, well, I mean, I guess. So what like has your point of view changed since watching episode one? I guess I don't know because again I just watched this a few hours ago because I wanted to freshen my head and there are parts and I was watching it and I'm like ugh and it's not that I'm rooting for him or but like I'm going with I'm on like the burglary part. Like I think that's how she died. Like that's I'm not trying to defend him. And there were parts him. Well, we'll get to it. But I did waver a little bit while watching it myself. But I still, after watching this first episode, I still think that like I'm still on the burglary side of it,
Okay, so I
and
got
not Scott did it. So
awesome.
what's the poll say?
I said after watching the first episode, has your point of view changed? I have yes, no, and I'm on the fence.
It's gonna be like 80%. I'm on the fence. To all you interlopers, damn you.
I had to add that part because I used to be absolutely. I will tell you, I was on the "you're going down"
I was
stage
too.
in the
I
very
was
beginning,
too.
and
I
then
was like, let's burn the witch. Like I was like, let's get him completely. But then when I watched this documentary, I thought I'm like, ooh, I don't know now anymore if he did it or not.
I'm gonna put a
And
poll
now
up
like with this
online.
new evidence coming out, imagine really like there's concrete proof that like he never did it.
Yep.
Yikes. Um,
Oh,
and again, I'm not really rooting for Scott.
I'm gonna put a
I
poll.
think I think it was the burglary. He's a terrible person cheating on his very beautiful pregnant wife, 8 months. That's horrible. How could you do that to your wife? And like listening to like what they did during the day made me like really just not like him. When he was telling the detective, like, what'd you do? Well, we woke up. I woke up at 8 o'clock. 9 to 10, we were watching Martha Stewart. They were talking about, like, making the best out of meringues. And then just like it was like, they were so happily in love. Like they should have been. And I'm like, ugh, that left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, after hearing some of his original, we actually have. I think I have a video of his original interview. Um, it's out there. It's already on YouTube. Uh, so that would fall under fair use. So, but I felt like when he was describing what he was doing, like he had already thought about it in his head a lot, like all the things he's going to say or whatever, because it was very specific for going in his first time and talking with them. It was actually on the was it the it was the 24th. It was that night when it happened was his first interview.
Right.
And I felt I actually, wrote I actually did transcribe everything you said. But uh, it was I just felt like he was saying a lot of things that was which is my first initial feeling was yeah he really just kind of was laying it out there like he said the things because they found a mop bucket with a mop and they took pictures of it and the floor had been cleaned and all those things and so he was saying well she was cleaning the floor and she was doing all these things and that was one of the things that I thought back then but now we're going to get into this, and I'm not going to say, well, now I'm on this other side. I'm just going to.
Oh, and by the way, guys, I'm gonna say we're gonna drop the link. We're gonna try it once and see if it's a colossal fail. But we're gonna in a little bit because we would love to hear other people's opinions as long as you're not gonna you know. So we're gonna try it, and so that'll be later on after we kind of get through the episode. So it starts off. They're talking about he was convicted in '04. Then in 2017, you hear you hear the conversation with him and his sister-in-law, his brother's wife. Because I'm like Peterson. I'm like, how is that his sister-in-law? I'm like, oh, must have been brother's wife. So, and that's who Janae is, right? That's his
Yes,
brother's
Janae
wife.
Peterson is Joe's wife, Joe Peterson.
Um, he wasn't grieving, and then they're saying there was no biological evidence, no forensic evidence. Um, then they go quickly into 12 people saw her walking that day, and then with the dog, and the dog went out the leash. Um, and that the cops never followed up with the burglary so you can maybe this documentary kind of feels like it's kind of slated towards more I don't know if you want to say it's pro Scott, but it's a lot of things that people didn't know about.
Well, I think the reason for that is because this is coming from it is the Innocence Project, and Innocence Project is called in by defense, most likely, because Scott wanted them to take a look at this case. So when they're
Right,
making
but
this documentary,
but what we're talking about, this documentary is 7 years old now. This was made in
right,
2017.
right,
So this was
okay.
before he was even. This was even before he was taken off of F Day Row A.
So I may slip up and use the wrong words because I don't think first. But okay. So we have 7 years. Okay, so wait. Now back then, of course, you're okay. So then that means that this is actually the way it's sounding. And I did get the feeling of what you're saying, that this was very pro Peterson. Like this, I bet you I wouldn't be surprised if this was backed by the Petersons, because the sisters' testimony and now they are all on there. And I did feel like some of it, like with the mom, the way she was talking was almost like she was kind of saying things about Lacey that kind of made me look at it like, are they trying to say she had a problem? It was a feeling I got. It probably meant nothing and I'm overanalyzing it, but I felt like what you were saying, and I'm watching this going, yeah, this kind of sounds like it's coming from the defense side. Like they're the ones that
But
back
again,
this.
it's it's kind of factual. Like what you're being presented with, you can't kind of argue with.
Yes,
Like
yes.
I'm not watching and was saying, "Oh well, no, there's no way that." I'm like, "Well, no, that so that makes sense." And again, this is what made me question, his guilt or not, because I'm like,
Yes.
huh. So, anything from the intro, Addie, that you wanted to add?
Let me see what I transcribed. So I'll try not to read everything. But uh, some of the quotes that I read, like one, and at first when it was going on, I had no idea who was saying what. I tell you, I do not do names very well. I can't put names with
Hear
faces
that?
at all. So it's just quotes, but too many things you'd have to ignore to think that he didn't do it. So that was one part that I thought, okay, that's one side. And then I remember Scott referring to his wife in the past. That's still on that other side. With the information that I had in that trial, he was guilty. So that was the very first thing we hear as they open up, as it opens up. So they start off with that. And then, of course, you have Sharon Rocha. Is it Roca or Rocha? I
Roca.
don't Roca, like almond Roca. Okay, I'll
Right.
remember that. So her words, of course, and you have, so what they're doing is they're laying it out, uh, showing you the side of those who believe he's guilty, in my opinion. And then they kind of morph into everyone else who believes that that he didn't do it. And that's family, that's Janie, his sister. There is a video that I found about one of his sisters. I don't know if it's the same one. I can't tell if it's her or not, but I did find something where she spoke against her brother, I think. I'll have to look at that for maybe next time. But anyway, just looking at how this was for the opening, where they're trying to go with it, and then it moves into, you know, the no, like you said, the no biological evidence, no forensic evidence whatsoever that pointed to the guilt of Scott Peterson. So that's his defense team, and that's that kind of stuff. And it is, as this thing opens up, you then begin to hear about more witnesses, which we'll get into. But that's kind of how I saw it. It's about just how I wanted to kind of show that that it is kind of sort of trying to show two sides. But then as we got into it, I felt like it was more one sided. That's just how I felt. You know, like
Yeah, no, I kind of feel like they're leaning to, like in Scott's favor, but you know, had it wouldn't have opened up this dialogue because you know there are stuff that's it's worth looking at. And again, like you know, the Innocence Project probably wouldn't have gotten involved if they really didn't think there was some validity towards him, you know,
absolutely.
possibly being innocent. And again, the new witness, the new evidence came out, so there's that. And again, he's still terrible. He did mean things to his wife. You know, we're not trying to make a
Nope.
parade or name him a saint. And you know, it's just for the scope of everything. That's what we're talking about. So, Addie, since you have this timeline, like, why don't we go over like the? I mean, I have it written out, but I know you transcribed everything, so you'd be better off going over. Why don't we go over the day because it kind of starts into like you know his you know that detective asking him what he did that day and like why don't we go through the timeline of that day on the 24th of December 2002.
Okay, absolutely. Like, so what I did was, yeah, I did actually transcribe.
And me neither, right? Fun fact, I had no idea about that either. Did anybody know about that?
No, I actually have that in my notes. Yes, I absolutely had no idea. And I'm a Lucas fan and had no idea. See, I don't
I
pay
needed like
attention.
the more you know graphic, like going I need like I need that to
And
play.
I didn't know George Lucas was from
Yeah,
Modesto.
nope,
No
another
idea.
fun fact. See,
Hey Tina, good to see you, Tina Beagle.
see.
See, okay, so the timeline. I like the way that they played everything out. I wish they would have put names in the beginning with everybody because I couldn't tell you who was talking in the beginning. But um, it basically it starts approximately at 8 o'clock in the morning on December 24th. So they started this thing with Scott's interview, and I think that's what this was. His initial interview when they first talked to him. He says, I don't know what time we got up. Probably Lacey got up and went and has some cereal for breakfast. Eats right when she wakes up. Otherwise, she gets sick because she's pregnant. Uh, I laid around in the bed longer and got up at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, probably or so. So then that's what the first part said of what was going on with his day there. Now he's relaying this to the police at the time. So then this is why when I'm reading this, I'm going to show you how I think that he was just so he was like thinking in his mind all this stuff I gotta say, all these things that I gotta touch on, because it'll end up coinciding with the evidence later on that
Yikes,
I.
that's not great numbers. Sorry.
What does it say? What is it? Let me see.
Innocence Project has a 43% success rate, 42 confirmed guilty, and 15 inconclusive.
I don't know. I have.
I mean, like, yeah, like when you lay it out like that, win some, lose some. Like, I
Yeah.
don't know.
I don't. I don't. I know that they're trying to do their best. I have somebody who heads up the New York Innocence Project thingy, whatever it is, or she's on that one or whatever. So I kind of, because of that, I kind of have a closeness for it in my heart. But anyway, let's back to this. So at 9 a.m., if it's approximate, I tried to say approximately. So 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., Lacey watches Martha Stewart. That's the one about the meringue, because this is
Right.
another thing that he brings up. So he's very honed in onto certain points, and the meringue thing he was very sure. We're up watching Martha Stewart. Now it was confirmed that Martha did have a show that day on meringue.
And it was on meringue. So yeah.
Yes. So we were watching her favorite show, Martha Stewart. She was gonna finish cleaning up. So here comes in the cleaning up part. So he brings in, She was mopping the kitchen floor, and then she was going to take the dog for a walk. Just decided seemed too cold to go play golf at the club, so I decided to, go fishing. So I struggled with this during the trial. I remember struggling with this because this is the morning, December, cold in San Francisco. If it's too cold to golf, do you think that it's not too cold to be on the water? That was my thing. I was thinking, yeah, if you get raised around the ocean, you're out on a boat, it's colder on the water than it is on land and whatever. So that was just my thinking on that. But I just, so 9:20 to 9:40, neighbor sees Scott outside loading umbrellas into the back of his truck, according to Matthew Dalton, investigating defense attorney. Scott said hello, and she said hello back. Scott leaves his house. He's on his way to his warehouse, which is located 3 miles from home.
That probably took him like 5 minutes to get to.
Or forever. That's the streets. I lived forever in San Francisco, and it wasn't as bad as
No, that's true. I don't know the
San
traffic over
Francisco.
there. Yeah.
San Francisco is a little bit more busy, but where we were, it wasn't. But yeah, it can be.
Now I want rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat. Cody, can you get us some rice-a-roni for tonight?
Oh my gosh, that bridge is so gorgeous, and if you see it with the fog and stuff, it's just you especially when you see it in person. So
what a great segue that would have been, though, right? Like you would have
yes.
seen and like Addie. Speaking of San Francisco, have you ever had rice-a-roni, the San Francisco treat?
Dang
Even
it.
though I've never been there or crossed the Golden Gate, I just imagine eating this rice every day and being in a scenic part, like maybe in front of the Charmed House or
on a trolley.
On a trolley, like wherever it is. Every day I'm eating rice-a-roni. I feel like I'm right in the action. Ding ding, trolley trolley.
Ding,
The San
ding,
Francisco
ding,
treat, and I
goes the
go right back
trolley.
into it. Like,
Clang,
hello,
clang, clang, goes the bell.
Exactly.
Sorry, I had to.
Well, no, that's like meet me in St. Louis. That's the trolley in St. Louis. Can't you?
Oh,
That Addie, now you're pushing it. Okay.
I crossed over. How dare you combine things?
I mean, like, there are trolleys in other places. No. New Orleans has one. I was in a trolley in New Orleans. Anyway, we're off subject. Where were we? Sorry.
Oh, so anyway, so
I got really excited. I got really excited about my faux rice-a-roni advertisement.
We should. That would have been.
Does anybody know anybody at Rice-A-Roni? Just
we would like to be sponsored.
the official rice of John Yates, Addie, and Scott Peterson. Rice-A-Roni, the San Francisco treat.
If you eat enough of it, it'll eventually kill you. Sorry, did I say that out loud? Oh, so 9 to 9:40. I think I said this. Yes, I did. So Scott leaves his house. He goes to his warehouse. And then Gary Ormione, private investigator, says approximately 10:30 a.m. to 10:56 a.m. he was on his computer at his warehouse looking for some information regarding some tools. And then I think at some point they showed tools because there's like pliers and stuff. But I don't know if.
Speaking of tools, me and Cody were just doing some light repair work in the kitchen, and I found myself looking at this Craftsman model hammer. And let me tell you something. I just got it from Home Depot. It's light as a feather, stiff as a board. It's like the nails banged themselves in with this. And again, you can find it right now, Home Depot, on sale, $19.99. Craftsman level. Like, your family will thank you, and they'll feel safe in your house.
Not sponsored, but if you'd like to sponsor us, please give us a call at. Okay, I always lose my spot. Okay, so again, more of Scott's little interview doohickey. I checked my email, sent one email, then hooked the boat up and went to Berkeley. And I imagine it took at least an hour and a half. Now remember, an hour, but it's from Modesto to Berkeley. There were closer spots where he could have gone fishing more close to Modesto, but he chose to go to the Berkeley Marina, which is where the Audi bays were found. I don't know if we're allowed to say that, but whatever.
It nails like a big fat piece of butter.
Yeah.
Again, we're trying to bring like a little bit of lightheartedness to the seriousness of true crime.
Yes, my chatters know that there's no way I can get through anything without some sort of something and not being too
And you
serious,
know,
and I
I'm here
giggle.
all for the distractions and to secretly sway you with my thoughts and my brainwaves.
Yeah.
And
Everybody get your
this
tinfoil
light
out.
is, and
John's getting a new head.
I will jump in with product placement as I feel fit, and so keep please, Addie.
So neener, neener, neener. Okay.
Oh, coffee. Tomfoolery like that will get you banned and stricken from this chat real quick. Just strike that from the record, please. I don't even want that in print. Sorry, Addie,
Oh,
go.
I just saw it. I just. Oh, I just like it when coffee's here because
I
it
just
makes.
changed my allegiance to Lowe's. Get those hammers at Lowe's, not Home Depot. Lowe's. You can't spell flowers without Lowe's. There.
I just
That's
like that
that one.
coffee's here because it makes you say coffee. That's all I care about.
Yeah,
No.
that's I try to mask my Long Island accent as best I can, but coffee is one that just you can't. That just it's a hard one to
Yeah.
mask. Okay.
Okay, so after he does his mail and stuff at the warehouse and gets his boat and all that stuff, 10:18, neighbor sees Peterson's dog outside. Neighbor, the Karen she talked about, uh, walking or saw the dog walking around outside the home. The dog has his collar and leash on. She takes Mackenzie and places him in the backyard of the Peterson home. She says, I left the leash on the dog and abruptly just left and shut the gate and, went on with my day.
Oh
So,
wow. Why? Okay. Why would like so the neighbor finds the dog just roaming loose? How would that have happened if she
exactly.
wasn't there walking it? And we already know, which we didn't get to the timeline yet, that what 11 or 12 people called in witnesses seeing Lacey either walking on the road or with the dog.
Yeah,
And
and
now
most people will recognize it. Yeah.
we know about the burglary across the street. So what? Like, and again, I know everybody wants to say that he did it, and you know what? He may well have. Like, he maybe. I'm not saying he did. I'm not saying he didn't do it. I'm just saying, can you really think, with 100% certainty that, and again, no physical evidence. It's all circumstantial. And again, nothing looks good. The affair, like bad, bad, bad. But can anybody really still say with 100% certainty that, like, you fully believe there's not a chance that something could have went the other way? Oh God, I feel like I'm
So,
advocating for him, and I'm
so
really not.
no, and here I'm going to put 2 points up. What Wicked is saying, they thought the dog got out of the backyard, but yes, the dog was found with his leash on. Mackenzie had his leash on. What? I mean, why would he be in the backyard with his leash on and no one was home? You see what I mean? The neighbors, and I wonder if the dog
And
was
that
like an
was
escape
weird to
artist.
me though, like and which made me like question Scott because it's when Scott came home, right? He said he walked in. What was weird to him, the door was unlocked. Well, that should be weird anytime when the door is unlocked.
Right.
Okay. And seeing the dog in the backyard with the leash. That's weird.
And he should have questioned that himself because but I'm actually he's gonna talk about this in a second, but he it's like, wait a second, if I came home and my dog had its leash on, it would have been the first thing I noticed because my dog isn't it. First off, my dogs don't normally stay out all the time outside because they don't like to. Uh, but I don't put them out in a leash because it can get tangled up and stuff, you know? like a cat. You don't leave your cat on a leash outside; they can get tangled up in a tree, so you don't do that. But anyway,
Well,
he
I don't know how many people with cats on leashes. I've never had.
it, I would love. Yeah, I have friends who had all their cats. They walked them like dogs. We had one. We had a dog that chased, like you know how Georgie chases our cat chases stuff. We had a cat that did
None
that
of our
too.
cats that I've ever had in my whole life would ever just be on a leash and be like walkies. Like that would never happen.
You gotta
I
train
can
them from babyhood.
imagine trying to drag Hope, all 30 pounds of him, like just on a leash.
Um,
Anywho, like,
it's
but
cute. So, so okay, so yeah, but yes, so, Scott, in my opinion, Scott would have he would just that thing bothered me. That was another one of those things that bothered me. In a case, there's always going to be things that are going to bother you that just don't
and they
make
all
sense.
see her walking after Scott left. He's supposed to be either at the office for like the 40 minutes he was like, sending the one email or whatever, or then he has like the receipt at the marina, the docking receipt. So he's pinpointed at certain places at least for a little bit of time where you have Lacey walking either with or without the dog. The neighbor's seeing it well after Scott's left. So if the dog was found roaming the street with the leash on, what did that mean? That Scott came back and and scooped up Lacey and put her in his car to go to the marina? Is that how that's supposed to have happened? Like, in his own neighborhood? Like, imagine, like, him just speeding down his street with all it, and the neighbors seem to be very active on that fucking. It's like Wisteria Lane. I keep waiting for, like, Bree Vandekamp and fucking Lynette to walk out. And they said it's a very friendly neighborhood. Neighbors all look out for each other. That's very Wisteria Lane, and tell me it's not. And good. But all these neighbors are very active. So, Scott's, after he goes to the office, he's then gonna to go back, scoop her up while she's walking the dog, 8 months pregnant, drag her in the car, and then none of these people are gonna see it. And again, he could have done it, but I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yes. So do not come after us.
Or me, because I'm the one really putting myself out there right fucking now, and
Yeah.
I don't have enough problems. John, you're already like your dish is full, and you need to like relax. Also, John, let me defend Scott Peterson on YouTube because that's a great fucking idea.
It was a good thought at the beginning, then I was like, oh crap. Oh well.
But
We're still
now I'm in it, and now it's just too late to turn back. So it is what
yeah.
it is.
So remember, he's the devil. He's got. Okay. So, oh, oh. So it's all that we get past the dog in the thingy, and then we get. So at 12:54, Scott has a receipt. Oh, look at that! He's got a receipt. I'll play the other side. You play that side. I'll play this side. But in reality, I'm actually on the fence.
No, it's fine. Like, listen, like this wouldn't work. Like, someone had to be on Scott's side for this to work, right? Like, we couldn't be having this panel, and this is like, this is still like the testing stages. We want to really expand on this, and we're playing it out. But like, you can't have a panel like this, and all of us on panel be like, well, Scott sucks, and I'm sorry. We both agree that he sucks. I do. Like,
Right.
I'm just saying, like, what kind of panel would it be if everyone's like, well, there's no discussion. There's no, it would be boring. So, and again, I am taking that bullet.
I have
And
a new chatter. I have a new chatter in my chat that is asking if this is a new show on Scott Peterson. We're actually going over info in my description on my side. I think John has it in his. I can't remember.
He's way better at this YouTube stuff than me. So if you want to look at anything, look at her channel and not mine, because she's
I'm
way
going to
more
start
detailed
putting
than
in.
I am.
I have to remember to put in what I put in over on the other one. but we'll get it all worked out and we'll become
High five
professional.
to my
I'm
Catholics.
I'm gonna convert just so I can go. So, except I'm left-handed, so I probably do it backwards. But whatever. Oh, so anyway, Valerie, or what was it? Valerie asked. So no, in the description, we're the homework from Teacher John was to watch the first episode of the documentary on A&E that I have listed in mine. I have the link for it in
And by the
mine.
way, like I only watched the first one. I really wanted to watch them all in a row, but like I knew if I watched them all in a row, we couldn't do this because I would be like. So I
I'd be
hope
skipping
that
all over.
nobody watched them all in a row.
Yes,
And
so
if you
don't bring up
did,
anything. Don't bring up
well,
anything
no.
on the other ones, or because that's one of the reasons I can't. Because otherwise, my brain will just be skipping all over the place, and I'll end up saying stuff from, and we're not even on that episode. So anyway, we're on episode 1 of the documentary called "The Imming of Lacey Peterson," and it's on A&E, and you can watch it for free. I have the link in my thingy. Okay, back to it. So
But where are we? Yeah, where are we in the timeline now of that day?
okay, uh, so we're back. He has a receipt when he parked his truck at the Berkeley Marina. He was out on the water from about 2 o'clock. And then he says in his little interviewee thing, talked to a couple guys fishing. They asked me, did you catch anything? I called Lacey just as I was leaving the marina. I'm home and oh no, he said home and the mobile. So yes, I typed it word for word. He
And
was
by the
saying
way, like the fact that like even Cody said something about like the fact like, oh well, he didn't catch anything. You know, it's not guaranteed that you're
fishing
gonna
is never.
catch a fish whenever you go fishing. Like, I've gone on a lot of fishing boats and I've never caught anything. I
It
mean, I've
just,
caught
yeah,
like
it
maybe.
depends on where you go too. Like, where
So
are you
like just
fishing?
because he didn't catch a fish, and again, I hate that I'm like advocating for him, but like just because he didn't catch a fish, it's never a guarantee when you go. I think anyone who goes fishing knows that, right?
Right.
But go ahead. Sorry, Addie.
Well, yeah, you're absolutely right about that. But I was, of course, on the mind was, boy, is he really putting stuff out there to make his timeline. That's where my brain was. Boy, he really had to say, "Hey, 2 guys, talk to me." So, did they find those 2 guys? Did they interview those 2 guys who talked to him while he was fishing?
Well, I didn't see it.
Yeah, they asked me, okay, yeah, we went through that. Okay, so 2:15, Scott leaves the marina and calls Lacey. And then that phone call, I did transcribe it. Hey, beautiful, I just left a message at home. Uh, it's 2:15. Remember, now he's putting the time out there. Oh my goodness, he is being so thorough. That's what everybody says when you're going over this stuff in trials like this. Wow, how thorough is he? He's putting the time and making sure I'm leaving Berkeley. I won't be able to get
I mean,
to.
it is calculating. I have to give you there, but like then I could think of like when I leave Cody voicemails when like when he doesn't pick up, I'm like, hey babe, I'm leaving work. It's like 4:30. I'll see you in 15 minutes when I get home. So you got to think that way too. And everybody in the chat, you never left like someone a voicemail like that, like to your mom, your spouse, your kid. Hey babe, like leaving the
I'd
mall
have to leave
now.
the
It's
house.
it's 20 after 4. I'm gonna pick up dinner. I should be home by like 5:30. I mean, so like, and everybody. I'm just saying, and
No, you're yes.
this is why I'm here because
Because I'm going to pick apart this
it's
stuff
not
and go
like,
see.
and I agree with you. Yes, saying the time would look very calculated if he was trying to cover something up, and he he's still to this day maybe he's trying to cover it up. I'm just saying, but if you look on the
Right.
other side of the dime, that's also like I've left a million messages to my friends, people when you're leaving your house. Hey, I just left my house. It's 3:30. I'm crossing the bridge. I'll be there in like 20 minutes. It's
Yeah.
not like crazy that you would do that. So like if my friend's house that I was going to, if they wind up dead, now am I culpable because I said in the time? If I was the last person, if I was going to my friend's house and then they wind up murdered me, I should say, and I because I left the voicemail saying, "Oh, I'm on my way to your house. It's 3:30. You should be there soon." You know,
No,
that's just my point.
I do agree. I do. You're Very, very valid point. I think there are
I didn't
valid
mean to
points on all
oversell
sides.
it.
Okay, so he continues with, I won't be able to get to Villa Farms to get the basket for Papa. I was hoping you'd get this message and go on
Okay,
out
the
there.
Papa thing freaked me out. When he said Papa, I'm like, okay, who says Papa? But like maybe like that's
My
a
kids
thing.
do.
Oh, see, sorry. Never mind. I'm gonna
My
strike
kids,
that from the record,
both
and
my sons have always called their dad Papa.
never mind. And everybody should call their dad Papa, and like you know,
It's
never
because
mind. Keep reading, Eddie.
he grew up calling his dad Pop, and he's decided he wanted his boys to say Papa, and because of that. So that's what we did. Even the dogs call him. I mean, they know who Papa is. We call him Papa, and I said, "Go get your snack from Papa," and they go right to him. What?
Oh.
Don't your animals know who you're talking about when you say, "Go get your daddy, Cody"? What? Yeah. So he continues, I was hoping you'd get this message and go on out there. I'll see you in a bit, sweetie. Love you. Bye. Now, I read that in a tone that I first watched this trial. And when I heard that, my tone was, oh, that seems so freaking calculated. He put all that stuff in that one phone call just because. He then calls her. Later on, we'll see there's a phone call to Sharon where he asks, isn't she there with you? You see? So, anyhow.
That's so wrong.
I call him Poppy. No, I don't.
Guys, get your. This is a family show. Get your brains out of the gutter. It's a
So
family
at
show.
approximately,
Where
go
go
ahead.
ahead. No,
It's a
go ahead.
family show where what?
Where I'm defending like a possible like serial killer, but that's fine. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, so at approximately that word, 4:30 p.m., he arrived back at his warehouse where he parked his boat. His interview said, late getting home, so I went straight home. When we came home, then one of the journalists says, when he came home, she wasn't there. The dog was in the back with the leash attached, says Garth, the journalist. So that was, like we said earlier, that didn't surprise him. I mean, that would have surprised me. I mean, I'm sorry, I can't let that. There's no side on that one. Sorry. Go ahead, John.
You
Go
know
ahead.
what's weird to me, and like why, if again I'm playing advocate for Scott, but okay, so at midnight he's being questioned by the police, and it wasn't like like a it in my mind it had already seemed like the police had thought he had done it. Like she just got reported missing at what 5:47. Now 6 hours later, Scott's there in at the precinct there, being questioned and asked about having a lie detector.
Yes, because
Wouldn't that freak you out if I were Scott and like I'm like God damn, like my wife just went missing and like you're already like shoving this down my throat? I would feel like, yeah, the police are not my friends right now, and I don't know how I would act.
probably exactly like or very similar to how he acts. But if you follow trials long enough, you get to learn that the spouse is usually the first person of interest in a case where there is a spouse who has been unalived. So he already in the detectives with the detectives and everything, he's already on the radar because of that. Because they always go, their first thing is to not prove that he did it, but to prove that he's not involved, which is why they want to remove him as immediately go have him come in, do all the take a polygraph, which that's not something in court you take, and we'll get to hear eventually that his dad tells him not to take the polygraph, so he doesn't do it because he listened to his dad. So anyway, this is one thing that Scott said. The only unusual things were the leash and the door being unlocked. Assumed she was at her mom's. See, he immediately says this is in the interview to the police. So he assumed she was at her mom's because he'd made that phone call. He's trying to connect, in my opinion, as a person on this side, he's trying to connect that. And so he said that in the interview. Now this one, put my clothes in the washer. Well, I guess if you're fishing all day, you wouldn't really want to put those in a hamper. Now I just did your, sorry.
No. It's right. Like, yeah, like, because I was trying to question, like, well, he took a shower and then he washed his clothes. I'm like, well, that's suspect. Why? But then you know, but then he was out in a boat. But did he catch anything that would make him smell fishy? You know what I mean? He didn't catch anything.
Right. He never said he,
Because
yeah.
I'm trying to, like, look at it, like, I'm really looking at everything, not really just, because if something changes my mind, it,
Yeah.
I'll say it. And that
He,
made me question it. But then again, like, maybe it was murky water. Maybe he had, like, those gross galoshes on that stunk. I don't know. But if he was fishing, and it is plausible.
yeah, you are gonna feel kind of ugh out there on the water because you got the moisture and the stuff in the air, and it's all hitting you, and that's ocean water and the air getting on you. So yeah, that's not the thing. Was that the clothes in the washer thing? Grabbed, put my. He didn't say to. He says, "Wait, put my clothes in the washer. Grab some pizza from the fridge. Got milk, and after I get out of the shower." So he did, or he did that after. So got milk, and after I get out of the shower and put clothes on, I called Sharon. So he's trying to form his what he
Oh,
did
that's a
that
good
day.
point. It could have been the bait he was using.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and you if you're a clothes wiper, I wipe everything. I'm bad about it. I get when I do dishes, I get covered in dish stuff from head to toe. No, I don't climb in the sink. Uh, so at 5:17, Scott calls Sharon Rocha. We know she's the mama. When I answered the phone, he said, "Mom, is Lacey there?" And I told him no. And then he told me that the car was there and the dog was there, but she wasn't. So he didn't mention the car until he talked to his mom, because he didn't say that during the interview. From what, or I mean, he may have, but because we didn't hear the whole thing, but we heard parts of it. So at 5:47, Scott calls, or no, so Scott calls Sharon, Lacey's stepfather. Oh wait, no, here it is. Sorry, at 9, it was at 8:57, 47. Lacey's stepfather calls 911. Now I have that. If you want to hear
Wanna
it.
play it? Roll it.
Okay, so here we go. Let me get to it.
Hold on. I think we have a. Hold on.
Receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots, everything.
I just wanted a reason to play it. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead, Addie. Roll it.
All right, so let's get this. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and.
How can I help you?
Yes, my son-in-law called. He went playing golf this morning at 9:30. My daughter's been missing since this morning. She's 8 months pregnant. She took her dog for a walk in the park. The dog came home with just a leash on.
So the dog came back without your daughter?
Right.
Okay, what is your address, sir?
Well, I'm at.
Is that where she's
So it's over at the Loma Park is where she went for the walk. What is Scott Lake's address? I can't remember.
What's your cell phone number, sir, in case you get disconnected?
It's 404.
No, Brooks knows it wasn't the next day. It was it was the same day.
Okay, so what's the address where she lives and she's missing from?
Her address is.
Is that between Encina and Iceberg Drive?
Yeah.
Okay, is that a house? What is your name?
My name is Ron. I'm her only stepdad.
Okay, what is your name? Your last
Ransky.
Grantsky?
Ransky. Her husband, Scott Peterson, is on his way over to the park.
What's your stepdaughter's name?
Scott Peterson?
No, your stepdaughter.
Lacey Peterson.
Lacey, Peterson, right?
Peterson.
And she's white, black, Hispanic, Asian?
She's Portuguese and white.
How old is she?
She's 26.
What time did she leave the house and didn't come back?
That we don't know. We just got a call from
Can you
our.
pause it, Addie?
He said he left this morning at 9:30 to play golf.
Yeah, he's saying he went golfing, but remember Scott had said like what if he should go golfing or fishing that day. Remember, to Addie, when did he say that to Lacey? Or
Yeah, that was in his phone call when he let me scroll up and yeah, it's when the timeline when it's at the phone call when he said, "Hey, beautiful." So that was 2:15. So he had talked about uh going golfing. So it's 2:15 leaving oh no, that was the marina. He said he was leaving. Oh, that was the leaving the marina part. Here, let me scroll up. Hold on. Scott, so he did call her, but when he didn't call her to tell her he was talk to a no trying to see if there's a time frame when he would have said it from Scott's no. See, like I said,
because he just said that he went golfing again, and Brooks knows this wasn't the next day. This was the same day. This is Lacey went missing between like 11 and something else, and then this is like Scott gets home at like 4:30. Then he showers, calls Lacey's parents at like 5:17. Then at 5:47, this is Lacey's stepfather slash father calling 911.
So I don't remember if he actually said to anyone that he says that he decided to go fishing instead of golfing. It didn't. Did he said that to the police? I think.
I think it was last minute when he decided to fish and not golf, but that's. Wait, can you rewind this a smidge? Because if the stepfather is saying to the police that Scott had went golfing, that means that Scott would have told him that he went golfing.
Right. So here, yeah, let me.
That we don't know. We just got a call from our son-in-law. Said he left this morning at 9:30 to play golf. He just got home about a half hour ago. Nowhere around.
Okay, so she went to walk the dog.
I pause it.
Walked it in.
So he said to her that we just got a phone call from him saying that he went to walk the dog, or that he went to go golfing. Right.
Went golfing.
So he had told them that he must have said to everyone he was going golfing, and then switched it now because she ends up so she ends up in the same marina that he went fishing in. So he's telling his family that he went golfing, but did he then turn around and tell everybody, "Hey, I ended up not going golfing. I'm fishing instead." He didn't, because in my opinion, he wanted everybody to think he was golfing and not at the Berkeley Marina where she was found. But he ended up saying that he went fishing. See, that's another struggle I have with this.
No, I'm struggling with this right now. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, because the dad said he told us he went golfing. If he had said that, if he had told him he was going fishing, then you think that the dad would have said, "Well, he told us he was going golfing, but he ended up going fishing or something." But he didn't say that. So, what does that do for Scott?
Then how did he get her in the? I don't understand it. But he definitely told the father that he was golfing and not fishing, which is, unless there's a small chance that the father may have just thought, oh, he's always golfing, and didn't think twice because he's rattled that his daughter's missing. So,
Except for he said those words, which is what I struggle with. He told us he was golfing, and that he came home. He told us is where I struggle with that. So he had to have told them at some point he would be golfing the morning of Christmas, because what if they set up Christmas? They did, this is what I'm going to do on Christmas, whatever it's called, the first day of Christmas. Is that Eve?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, we're all in this together, so all right, keep playing again.
back and forth.
Park, at the Malone Park. It's okay, park over there with the call. Yeah. Yes, it's one other scenic over there, you know, by the tennis court. Okay.
That's on Encina.
Yeah, do you have a flashlight? Absolutely.
And she's 8 months pregnant, you said?
Pardon?
You said she's 8 months pregnant?
Yes, ma'am. Can you get a point card for me over there? Is that possible?
Is this over there at Dry Creek Park?
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Is that over there at Dry Creek Park?
Yes, that's what it is.
And then why didn't he call them?
I don't know. I don't know. She's 8 months pregnant. There can't be that many people. She's got short black hair. She's about 5'1".
About 251?
Yeah. Dark eyes.
Dark hair and eyes?
Yes.
This is about a 4 minute and something call.
So the dog came home without the leash, right?
The dog came home on the leash without her.
And the dad is very specific.
Okay, you're gonna.
We don't want to know about that part.
My husband's looking for her right now. Are you gonna stay here?
We're not going to jump ahead.
I'll stay here if I have to stay here.
We're gonna send an officer over there as soon as they're available. Okay, you're at right now.
Okay, good.
What's the phone number there, sir?
Okay, my house number is
No, where you're at. Is that where you live at Markley Way? Okay.
my house.
What's your phone number? Mm-hmm.
But nobody to watch ahead, damn it.
Okay, and her husband's name was?
How you can tell that I didn't.
Peterson. Do you know what he's wearing?
No, he just called me from the house. I have no idea. He's walking, he's going over there looking for it. He's not in himself.
Okay. What's her home phone number there?
Her house number?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Okay, we'll have someone out there as soon as they're available.
I'm going to give you the cell phone. He might have a cell phone with him.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, we'll have someone out there as soon as they're available, Ron. Hello?
Yep.
Okay, we'll have someone out there as soon as they're available.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
All right. And I just went blurry. Let's see. What happens
Oh,
if
you've been blurry the whole time. I didn't know it was because if you were playing it.
No, I don't know.
You're a little blurry, but it's fine.
I'll be way up here.
Like I keep going back and forth now.
There,
in my
that
head
fixed
with
it.
This. Like I'm like that.
So now,
big-
yeah. So now we have him. I think I heard you say something while you were listening. When you were listening, you said, "Why didn't he call?
Yeah,
Why didn't
I
he
did.
call 911 about his own wife?" That's a good point. I don't remember ever hearing anything in any of the documentation that he called them himself. That's why, and I wonder if that's why people were struggling a lot with how he was at things like the vigils and so forth, which is a part of this case. I mean, this first episode, they did talk about it a little bit. I think maybe it's towards the end. I don't remember.
No, they did.
But,
They did.
Yeah. So why was he not? His whole demeanor. Now, I've said that his dad is very much like him. His dad's not a touchy-feely, emotional kind of guy, and I have a feeling Scott's a lot like his dad.
It
And
looks
so
like they come from like old money, like ooh hibbity bibbity at the yacht club, like that's what the father like reminded me of like Thurston Howell, like the third or the second or whatever he was.
Yes.
Like ooh no, we don't associate with the commoners.
Well, we could tell that he was an unemotional soul because he says they do a lot of hugging, and I think he was talking about Lacey's family and that.
Yeah.
Which I'm not really
very like waspy.
Yeah, I don't like being hugged, but I want to hug the heck out of you. That's how I am. I'm a hugger, but I'm not a receiving. I don't. No. You up in my space? No. So, but anyway, back. So, continuing. So, oh wait, I scrolled up. No, I got to go back to. I think it was what was he at 547 or no? No, we're home. So get down to the bottom of this. We're almost done with this. So so then they got the phone call. The dad makes the phone call at 6 p.m. The Modesto police arrived and they meet with Scott and Sharon Rocha in the East Aloha Park. I think that's what it said. That's what I heard. So, quote, one of these officers said to Scott, "Let's go back to the house," Janie Peterson, Scott's sister-in-law said. Detective Al Brocchini goes out to the house and takes a bunch of pics. I have those pics ready to go. If you ever want to look at those, we can show some of the house pics.
We'll pull them up. I mean, like, you know, if it
evidence
correlates
stuff
to
was
what
great.
if it correlates to what we're saying, you know, what we're talking about it, then by all means, bring it up.
So out of the house, takes a bunch of pictures outside the house. Inside the house, he went through rooms, going through drawers. Quote, there was no evidence of forced entry into the house. There was no evidence of a struggle. There was no evidence of bloodshed or anything like that. She had plans for that afternoon, and all of a sudden, she was just gone. So, and then he voluntarily sat down with the police that evening. But first, let me pull up let me get the pictures. So here's the first group of pictures. No, let's go here. Do this. I have to open it over there, not shut down StreamYard. Sorry. All right. Back over here. Let's see, how does that look?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
No. Okay, so what's this?
So this is the outside. Is that big enough? Everybody can see it? Should be good enough.
Yeah.
All right.
I mean,
so
I can do this here, if that makes
okay.
If then it cuts us off. But there we go. Hold on. Okay.
I can actually do something to it. I can. Did that help any? No. Never mind. Okay, so we have, this is the first exhibit. This is the outside of the house. All sides. A cute little house, and I love their decorations. I'm big, and my husband is, my husband's big into Christmas decorating. We
on the inside here, not the outside.
Oh, we do both. So this last Christmas we didn't, because we kind of didn't do anything this past year.
Well, you were here for Christmas. You saw, like, you know, outside, like, you know, we put like a wreath on the door, and that's about, you know, and a candle in the window. Like, decorating outside is too much. No.
Oh, I've got nutcrackers all over the outside, and lights everywhere. My husband puts it all up. He starts early because then it might snow. Okay, so then we have the cute little front, yada yada. Now here's the I guess that's what, the side door. And then this is the backyard. They're going into the backyard now. Okay. If I'm going too fast, let me know.
Good.
Okay, this is their backyard. Looks like every average backyard. They're Pepsi people, not sponsored. And then more. I like their outside furniture setup. I like that. And then that's the back thingy, and you know, like a wet bar or whatever. Yeah, outside wet bar. I love that. But nothing out of place.
And they have, like, is that, and oh, you know what? Go back up. You know what makes that wet bar deluxe? Is that an outside dishwasher? It looks like it.
Or no, I bet it's a mini fridge.
Oh yeah, it's a mini fridge. I was gonna say, if it's an outside, that's cool because you can wash your glasses like while you're serving. Sorry,
That would be
that was the
cool.
that was the bartender in me coming to life right there. Sorry, go ahead.
I kind of like that idea. And then all this stuff was just all laid out like they were getting ready to do stuff outside, because in California you can actually do stuff during the holiday seasons outside, and it looks like they still do. It doesn't look like they put everything away for the winter. And then we have a
Well,
sideways
plus
picture.
Modesto is it's a lot. Their winters are pretty mild, no? Or do they
Yes.
get like hard? Yeah, like it's not like
Yeah.
what we get up here or what you get.
No. Yeah. So they're able to be outside and do the. But there's the garage. Nothing out of the ordinary. Looks like a garage. Oh, and look at that. I love that. I love the cook area. I've always wanted one in a. I don't have one, but I don't cook,
Really
but
did
my
have a
husband.
party house.
Yes. And they have a pool. Okay, so that's that batch.
All right, so let's go back to like the timeline then. All right, so
Okay.
we're shit. And like what I wanted to say, like when the detective was like, Scott wasn't asking like the right questions, like how long is it gonna take? Like, what's your plan? What are you doing? And like I was like, oh, when you put it like that, yeah, like why wasn't he saying that? Because I knew if it were Cody, like I would be like at the end of my rope, I'd be live on the streets, you know me, like so it is weird
Yes.
that like he was way more subdued, but then again, I have to think also that the cops were notified at 6 o'clock in the evening. By midnight, they're already questioning him to take a lie detector with no hard evidence or anything. So again, if I were Scott, and then knowing also that there's the affair going on, which the police don't know about, like also think about that. He knows that he's cheating on Lacey, right?
Right. Right.
And that's probably going to come to light. So
Very soon.
and what they said in this, I think Nancy Grace said it, in the court of public opinion, like he was already guilty before trial started.
Right. Oh,
And
she's
that's
yeah. And she's been on. She says some points. She's like I do. She'll say some things. Well, this is this kind of looks a certain way for one side, and then she'll say, "But he's complete." Then she'll completely go on her, other side she's always been on, which is he's a horrible human. He's she does
but I
not
feel like
like him.
Nancy at times was giving him a chance, like
That's what I'm saying.
because
Yes.
and Nancy Grace is a formidable woman. So uh it's hard. It's all right, so keep going.
Okay. So, then he stated that he voluntarily sat down with the police that evening for 1 hour interview with a detective. Uh, then at 6:20 to 1:19, the police searched the house and warehouse. So he did get his warehouse searched as well. At 12 a.m. to 1 a.m., there is a videotaped police interview that
Isn't this all super aggressive? Like, I'm sorry, and again, I'm not gonna say he probably did it. He could have, but isn't this like that's the okay? It's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, right? You just lost your 8 month pregnant wife and child, and they showed like how they were looking forward to having the baby. They named him Connor. Like they had like the whole nursery set up, and within the scope of like 12 hours, lie detectors, search warrants, you know, they went in, I mean, like they went in there thinking that he did it. Like, I just, I don't know. To me, it feels like he wasn't given a fair shake. Again, but he had a lot to hide. Definitely the affair and possibly a murder.
well, they didn't know
So,
about the affair till
right.
later on,
But
and
Scott
also
knew
like
about the affair. My point is that he knew about the affair, and if the cops were this like that at jump, if you're in Scott's brain, you're like, well, if they're like this, they're gonna find about this affair, like
right,
probably like
right.
tomorrow.
Which is probably
So
why he was so aloof, if you really think about it. Because they did
yeah,
say that they used the word he was aloof. He's probably aloof because he knew he had a relationship on the side with it, and his wife is pregnant for 8 months along, and you know it's going to look bad. And so
And
he
here's the
knows that
detective
going in.
asking him if there's anything wrong in your marriage, and he said no.
Right. So
You know, and I
he
guess according to Lacey, I guess Lacey didn't know about the affair, right? So in Lacey's eyes, there was nothing wrong, but I mean, and maybe in Scott's eyes, there was nothing wrong because he was having his relationship with Lacey and his son, and then he was, he had a gumad on the side, and he was getting away with it. So maybe there was no issue in his marriage at that point because he was, he didn't get, he was getting away with it. I don't know.
it'll be interesting to see how this unfolds, because I think that Amber Fry comes into the next episode that we'll get to next time. So without trying to jump
They're
ahead and
always
really get
named
in.
Amber for some reason. Like I'm thinking about like Amber, Johnny Depp's Amber, like this Amber now. That was not a dig to you, Amber, my friend Amber from YouTube. Not you,
We
Amber
love you,
Roberts.
Amber.
Not Amber Roberts, just all the other Ambers. But like, but keep going. Okay, so yeah.
Okay, so this is the last part. So at 12 a.m. Monday, there was a police interview, which it is an hour-long police interview. If you guys want to watch it at a later time, which it would be too long to watch it tonight, I will actually put a link to it in our descriptions, and you can go take a look at it. But it says his sister Janie said that he was very cooperative with the police. Quote, it was very, this is Scott's father. It was every Christmas Eve. We'd always just revel in the fact of how wonderful our kids were and how lucky we were, and so grateful, feeling so blessed to have such a family. And now we're going to have another grandson. And of course, that night we didn't know Lacey was that Lacey was missing, and the next morning it was all shattered. So I just thought that was it got me right in the ticker from his that was Lee Peterson, Scott's father, saying that. So that was the end of the timeline from the first portion of the video.
Now I'm gonna jump in now and say like one of
Yep.
my points. Okay, so the burglary. So we hear the neighbor, right? Wisteria. It was Bree Vandekamp that called it in. Bree Vandekamp was driving down. She saw the robbers in front of, and that house is directly across the street. It's not catty corner. It's not down the block. Like if you're sitting in your like living room, you could see like what they're watching in TV, like directly across the street. Okay, so the woman sees like the weird van, and in her description, which the police have, which you probably have somewhere of that witness description, but she says three. It said like non-white. They weren't black. They weren't white. They were what was it? What was the word she used?
I'm trying to see what notes I took on her.
It alluded to like them being like Hispanic or something like that, like like or like in the middle.
I think so. I think that's what I remember her saying.
And then when you saw like
Hispanic.
the reenactment, it looked like like three
That's
like
what
Hispanic people, yeah, Hispanic people there in the van. So she sees that's on the 24th, the same day, and the same time that Lacey goes missing. And then she tells her other neighbor, she tells Susan Meyer, when she's talking to her, oh my God, by the way, did I tell you that I actually saw, like, after she finds out that they were robbed, she tells Susan Meyer, and Susan Meyer, like, you have to call the police. So then this woman goes to, outside a few steps and tells, like, the local cop who's, like, patrolling at the moment, because there's camera crews there, it's a scene, and he puts it in his journal. Now, towards the end of the episode, they go into that, and the cops say that the burglary was on the 26th and not the 24th. Now, there's a lot of holes with that story because this neighbor was certain that it was the same day and same time that Lacey went missing.
Right.
And B, you have the reporter, Ted Rowland, who was the first to roll up to the scene, the first reporter, and then like that Gloria Gomez, I think, was second or whatever her name is.
Yes.
So Ted's been there since Christmas Day. And he's like, I've been here, and he goes, if something happened on the 26th. I've been here. I wouldn't have missed it. I would have interviewed the burglars myself, and they have it wrong. So, and then when you show the interviews with the two guys they pinched for that burglary, they're two white guys. They're clearly white. Um,
And
and he's talking about like how he took a safe or whatnot. So
I struggle
why
with
did
that as
they
well.
change it from the 26th? And because the reporter was there, he would have seen it. He was right there in front of the house. How could that reporter have not have seen a shady van?
And they made a big point to say that there was media all up and down that street. The neighbors
Right.
said they couldn't get to their house, and it started happening the very next day after on the 20, I think it was the 25th is when the news stuff started rolling in. And every day, all day long, there was news there. He rolled up there early on the 26th, like he said. If it was on the 26th, that time he knew the time that they said, then he would have seen it. Like you said, he would have seen it. And I struggled with that greatly because Ted.
But why would the police do that? Why would they put it on the 26th? And again, they seem to have their mind made up, you know, because by midnight, 5 hours into like, them talking to Lacey's parents and whatnot, they already have Scott in a lie detector.
And I
So,
think
and
that
now they're changing the date of the robbery. And I don't believe for 1 second that happened on the 26th. That reporter he was right there. No way. And like you said, the neighbors were there. They were pissed. That woman couldn't sleep because the lights are shining through her fucking bedroom window. You know, no way. There's no way that robbery happened on the 26th.
yes, and then I wonder if these two guys that they talked to, I I had a weird feeling like they even the two guys, do you know?
No, they weren't
I
because they were
mean,
two white guys. They were
it,
probably
it
two white guys robbing some. I don't know. But,
and
like,
they
did that neighbor say that a safe was missing? The one from
yeah, I don't
across the
know
street
any.
that got
Hopefully, we can
burglarized?
get into that burglar, or we can maybe get some more information on that burglary. What does MTT said? Police took their word and reported that. That's what I think is right there.
And like, yeah, by the way, like, what the fuck are you, Joe fucking Pesci and fucking Daniel Stern? Like, is this Home Alone? Who the fuck goes on a burglary spree on fucking Christmas Eve? Are you the wet bandits?
So
Like, so, like, ugh, all of it.
I made a
Yuck.
comment about this, about the what houses do get burglarized in Christmas time, especially if people have been driving up and watching people and they know their routine and whatever. And what if that house wasn't being like looked after? What if they knew they were on vacation because it was the morning of Christmas? Maybe they were out of town and they hit that house. I mean, you got
It
people
was
casing
so Home
neighborhoods all the time.
Alone. Like, it was like that. It was like they were out of town and like they got burglared.
That's exactly what I was because yeah, but think about it. Those while that was going on and I was looking at them and whatever, that what you just said is exactly what I was thinking in my head. There was those two they reminded me of the people from what you said, the burglary and with the Home Alone and all the stuff because I
They
don't
leave the faucets running at the end of it, so is that their calling card?
yeah. But I don't know, I didn't feel like just listening to the portion that we heard of those two that they were even the ones who burgled that house. Like it
There were
it was
two
just
white guys, and that was not the description. And again, that was not the date.
right.
How do we know that those two white guys didn't burglar a house two blocks down? And that'd be a clever way of covering it up, saying, "Oh no, we did catch somebody burglarize someone's home. Maybe
Yes.
not this home there, but definitely a couple of houses down. Maybe they hit up a couple of houses that day, or maybe with I don't know. But I wasn't sold on those two white guys being the burglars." And especially after that reporter said my head was spinning. I've been here. I was staking out the place. I haven't left. Nobody would have, I would have talked to them and all the neighbors. It was a media circus 2 days afterwards.
Yep. Yep.
So it just, it, why, that I can't get past in my head.
Yes, the 26th
And the
and
fact and the fact that they're covering up this burglary like this makes me feel that that's how she died, because why all this?
I wonder if that's why what the Innocence Project is looking at is that right there. And maybe going over this and really getting into the timeline of that burglary, maybe they saw things that need to go back and be looked at. Because I do believe we heard that this is one of the things that the Innocence Project has asked to be revisited. So, so like MTT said, the police took their word for and when they reported it, and but yeah, so that is the end of my timeline. So, and then you with this, so
I'm going through
yeah, some other
whatever.
thoughts. The end of it, I really just did my own, thoughts on stuff. Like, trying to scroll.
When they did get the search warrant finally, despite Scott waiting for his attorney, they walked away with they took the 2 cars and the 2 computers.
Yes.
Let me see. I'm just writing else. What else I have written down here?
Yeah, I made some comments about just the family, and
oh my god, the part when like the dad was like when they showed the press conference and like her stepdad. I think it's a stepdad, but
that's
clearly
Lacey's
there was
stepdad. Yeah.
more like a dad, or she, whatever. Happy Father's Day, everybody. By the way, when he
But yes,
broke down on that pedestal and started crying, I was like sobbing. I was like, "Oh, don't cry!" Like that was heartbreaking to watch that. And then again, I'm seeing her family there, and I'm like, and Scott's not there.
right. And that's what the media, a lot of the media was saying that, and everybody, like just a lot of people were saying, well, why isn't he reacting? Why isn't Scott reacting that way? Why isn't he
Sorry,
breaking
I have
down?
a crazy itch right here, and it's like, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So for me, that was a point for the other side, is that why was he so he didn't fall down. Now maybe he's not the type to, maybe he doesn't show his emotions, and I kind of see that in how they are his dad and that kind of thing. And so that's just not his nature. There are people who are like that, who don't even cry at a funeral and may not cry for a while after a funeral of a very much loved one. It happens all the time. Then there's people like myself who can't even think about it without, who has her Titanic list of movies that never watch again because of the uncontrollable crying. So,
Wait a minute.
but
Can we? I just thought of something. 1140. That neighbor, the neighbor that witnessed the van and the non-white people being shady. It said that was 1140. That would have been 1140 Christmas Eve. Is there a way you could pull that up?
so on pull it. Oh,
I know they showed, because it just dawned on me now just looking at this.
did you have that on?
Wouldn't that have had the time and the date?
I'm
No, wait, no, wait. I strike that because that neighbor said she waited a couple days to call it in. So then it would have been after the 24th. Never mind. I thought I was onto
right.
something.
So
yeah, I
while
wasn't.
okay, that's what, okay, because I'm looking at it going, no, I didn't write, I don't have that time slot, and that you're
But if
actually
it was 1140 on the 26th, it wouldn't have made sense because that's noon, right? And that's with all those people there. So still, it doesn't make sense for it being. I'm still stuck on this 26, 24 thing. I really am having a hard time swallowing this.
because she said that while she went outside to talk to the police, it wasn't actually on the date that
Yeah.
it happened. It was probably a day or so after, when all the police and stuff were still out there, probably, or it had to have been, right? Because she said she went out there and talked to a police officer who was out there because everyone.
It was already a frenzy there, so it had to have been like the 26th or the 27th.
So, and that's when the van was found on the 26th, a few blocks away. Geneva has it right there. So when I think that's when she heard that, that's when she said, "Hey, wait a second, I remember seeing that," and then she walked out there and called them. So they
And
found
now
the van.
that's the van that they're testing now, right? With the new
Yes,
evidence.
yes,
That's the burglar's van.
I do believe so. Yes. So that fits like so that to me. Okay, so to me they say the van was fanned. Whoops,
It's okay.
dyslexia. Welcome. Uh, uh, but the van was found 2 days after on the 26th. So is that why the two guys are saying the 26th then? I mean, is that where that number comes from?
I didn't believe those two guys. I didn't believe any of it. I'm sorry. Those are probably two burglars, and they probably robbed somebody else's safe, but it wasn't that house.
uh, it probably it doesn't fit her description. They wanted. I wonder what the media and everything had to say about that lady. I'd like to kind of know what they had to kind of say about how she was, because in the video they kind of she kind of looked like a little bit like, she wasn't a very unique character, but this was also 20 something years ago, or
Right.
or whenever this, you said this was 7 years ago when the video was made, so it was even 7 years ago. There's still whatever the math is between, you know -7, but still it's a long time. But she did recall seeing it. She must have seen that van on the news, and that's why she reported it and said, I got to go out there. And a friend of hers said, you need to go out there and tell them that you saw that van.
Right.
Yeah, so
And,
that's a
yeah,
struggle.
that's a big struggle for me.
Yeah.
So then we go to and then Nancy Grace say she goes, and when Nancy Grace believed, when the burglary came out, even Nancy Grace believed, like, then there's something to it, and like this is the answer everyone's been waiting for, and then that kind of just fell flat when they had these two imposters or different burglars commit to something, because I don't believe they did it. There's no way. The time doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Other stuff that kind of happened towards the end was the retired detective John Bueller, or I think his name was Bueller. That's how I read it. Said there was there at the police station when Scott came back. So this was another time he was brought back. It was his first time seeing Scott. Bueller said he was expecting more from him, expected him to ask what they were doing on the case, what were the priorities,
Yeah.
and that Scott's behavior was a bit different than others that they dealt with previously. He didn't seem to be very interested in what they were doing with the case. Now, my feeling on that was because in my mind, looking at it as just, okay, we don't know if he did it or not, but I think he was afraid they were going to find out about his cheating
Yeah.
and it was going to get out there. And so
I mean,
that's where his aloofness comes from.
how can Scott be open to, and again, this kind of goes like, why didn't he take the lie detector test? Because probably on the lie detector test they were going to ask him, have you been faithful to your wife? And Scott knew that he would fail it. And also the dad said not to take it, but that crossed Scott's mind, like, let's just be
Because he told him,
um
yeah, he would do it. He
so,
said
I
that.
mean, I would want to take the lie detector test knowing that if they're questioning me about 6 hours after my wife's been reported missing, they're already, like, making it seem like she's dead, right? Like, that's how
Right.
like, these cops are, like, making it seem like she's dead and, like, you killed her, right? So knowing that, and then knowing I've been cheating on Lacey, and that's probably going to be a question in the lie detector, and then when I lie about it, it's gonna raise a flag, and they're gonna assume I'm guilty. That's a slippery fucking slope. And again, well, don't be cheating on your wife, Scott. And
Exactly.
so, I mean, that's the bed you slept in. So
Yeah. So yeah, I just thought interesting in that he we that his dad did talk him out, or probably is the one who talked him out of not taking the polygraph test, polygraph test, polygraph test, and then it doesn't look good, like you say. So, yeah, I remember. By the way, I remember Ted Rowland from back in the day. I remember him.
Was he as dreamy back then, Addie?
That was 21 years ago. I don't know, but I do remember when I saw him. I go, oh, I remember him. Don't remember what he looked like at the time, but I remember his voice. So I remember I do remember all of the info about this stuff because I was there in that neck of the woods at the time. I remember wanting to help search. I remember all that, but yeah, that was too far away. So, but
I don't know. It just seems to me like there's a lot more to it, and there are things that's hard to swallow. And we'll see. And to everybody, like, so when are we gonna do the next one? We have to watch episode 2.
Right.
When are we good? What day you want to do it? Let's see. Monday, hopefully we could do Jersey. How about How about Tuesday?
Okay. So Monday we're doing NJ. Tuesday this, and then Wednesday are we going to do Angela?
I was thinking we should probably like squeeze 90 Day in there somewhere. That's why I wasn't sure about it being either Tuesday or Wednesday because both Jersey and 90 Day are on Sunday nights, and that makes it annoying. We'll leave it in the air. We'll either do it Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Okay.
One or the other.
So there you
Most
go.
likely Tuesday. Most likely Tuesday. But yeah, now again, I'm going to pose the same question that I asked. What's the poll read, Addie?
Let me see here.
Now, still, is there, after watching this episode 1 and being part of this live, have you maybe even given a skosh of thought of maybe like, maybe like 0.0002%? Like the smallest of percentages.
So I think what I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and stop the poll, and then we can see it in the chat. Does that work?
Okay. I can't see it, but yeah, tell me.
Okay. All right. So here comes the poll. In you have 3, 2, 1. So it says so 50%. I'm on the fence. And so the question was, after watching the first episode, has your point of view changed? So 50% said on the fence, no was 40%, and 9 is yes. And that was out of 22 votes. And that's
so
on
9 out of 22 said only 22 votes? Really?
Oh wait, no. Hold on a second. I have to actually I have to go to yours. So that was mine. Okay, now I got yours. Sorry.
I was like, dang, only 22?
Okay, so now we'll end the poll on John's.
Yours is probably more realistic, Addie.
Okay, so again, so we have no on yours. No is 50%. I'm on the fence is 41%, and yes is 8.
How many votes total?
So total votes were 116 votes. I'm just happy I got 22 on mine. I'm proud of that.
Listen. Those are better numbers than I ever hoped for. So I will take that win. Not easy being being counseled to this guy as a client. So
nope.
I'll take that. I will take that win. It's gonna be. I said it's gonna be a long uphill battle for me. So, and again, I might change my mind and say he absolutely did it. I don't know. We're just starting. So we'll continue either on Tuesday or Wednesday night. I'll have it set up tonight, and then you'll know either way. Anything else, Addie? Like before I are we good?
I'm good. I'm good. I think this time we'll hold off on the if anybody wants to come up, maybe another.
You want to? No, we can still do that. Should we do it still? I kind of said like we would, and
we can see if they want to.
Someone could have reminded me. I'm just saying, it's.
I'm so sorry.
It's not you.
I forgot it myself. I didn't remember it.
Here, it's drop the link time. Let me get real here to sing.
So if anybody wants to come up, and you don't have to be on camera, but we need to see you on camera behind the
Oh yeah,
scene.
and then also just hey, hold a piece of paper with your social security number on it and your mother's maiden name, just for security purposes. Because I'm hungry, and the only pizzas I get sent to me are ones that aren't paid for. So.
Let me get back here. So,
Well, well, the switchboard's not really lining up with people who want to come up right now. So if there is someone who does want to,
oh, can we
Wait.
see you first? Person who came up.
Yeah, no, that's probably not her. See, tricky.
No, we got to see you first.
No, I don't think that's her.
Devices
be.
not connected.
Texting
Person,
them.
we can ask if it's in. John's checking first because it says devices not connected. Hey, Abe, good to see you. And hey, Mal. Did I say hey to Mal?
Oh, okay. It is her.
Oh.
It's Wicked. I just had to check because there was one time somebody used Wicked's name, and it wasn't Wicked. So.
Yeah, I didn't. Let me do that real quick. Hold on one second. I'm gonna do something real quick while we're waiting. I have to go to John's. Let's see here.
Are you coming back, Wicked? Said 1 sec.
Hold on one second. I'm gonna get this in there. Oh. You guys get to see my head bobbing all over the place. Okay. I'm gonna stick something in brand if I can find it. Oh, okay, scroll down. All right, so. Oh, wait, no. That's not it. That's a background. I don't want that. Okay, I'm ready with the overlay. See, want me to show them what it is? It's just the thing that was on the front. We're waiting for, if anybody else wants to, just grab the link. If not, and if she says in the chat she can't get it to work, then we shall move on. All right, so I'd like to put my tablet, and there is no front camera. Good to see you, Abe. Hey, Joseph. Hello, cousin Joseph. And Abe, I'm glad you're enjoying your weekend. Yay. So, did she answer back?
It's waiting for the chat to load, she's saying.
Oh.
Coach Georgie, you ruined it. You don't want to be on camera.
So I'm looking at some of the comments, but
there she is.
Okay.
Hello. Oh my God, you all sort of warned me.
Oh, sorry. You look fine,
God
though.
almighty.
You look fine.
Okay. I can't believe you all didn't talk about him calling Amber in Paris.
No, we're not there yet, Skip Aheader.
No, it's not. It's at the
That
very
was
end of the
that was at the
episode.
very end of the
That's
episode.
like the scenes for like the next episodes.
Right. I actually had a little bit to say about the next
There we go.
episode.
Sorry.
But I
Oh yeah, I'm not trying to hide it. Yeah, we're gonna get there, but like I didn't want to cover like the scenes for next episode because then
Yeah,
like
no,
we
I have
probably
only
start
watched the
talking
first
about
episode.
it.
yes,
I'm a
trying
good YHU follower. Only watched the first episode.
See, so we're
Me
good.
too.
So,
But I am going in with an open mind. I have read Sharon Roach's book, and I also read Amber Fry's book, which were both fantastic. I'm still leaning guilty AF.
that's fine, and I've read neither book.
Neither.
So you're way more qualified than I am on.
Oh no,
this,
I
but,
just
I'm
Amber's
just going off
was
what I'm seeing on this so
riveting.
far.
Like if you're like, it was very, very good.
And I'm looking forward to next week.
God almighty. Well, you never
you're
know.
cool no matter what. You have the best hair color ever. So
Why, thank you.
Yeah, there are 6 episodes total, and then after the 6, I mean, there's so much other stuff to cover too with this. So, and then the stuff that's about to come out, you know. So we're gonna be Peterson Central here.
yep.
Yeah, I
Get
was
t-shirts.
because when I first started watching it, I guess from
Can I get some Scott Peterson cheerleaders? You guys want to be Scott Peterson cheerleaders? You know,
No,
Wicked. Can I write your name down on it?
no,
No. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry.
not yet. Anyway, not like I said, open mind.
Vince
Shoot,
stapled to
forgot
the
what I was
Vince.
going to say. Oh well, doesn't matter. Yeah, Amber Fry has a book. It's called Witness.
Is it in Audible form?
I believe so.
Oh,
I mean, it's
I can
an
get-
old one.
Mhm.
Let me check Amazon.
Well, I'm sorry. I have to be an Audible girl.
No, that's
I
okay.
cannot. I was looking at the some of the stuff on the court documents, and I'm like, oh my goodness, this whole thing. And then I use my reader that reads stuff to me because my attention spans. And I was like, oh, this sounds really good. I should just record this with my thing, and then we could just play the whole blinking thing.
It doesn't look audible, but it's called Witness for the prosecution of Scott Peterson, Amber Fry.
And Gloria Allred's already said that she's happy to do it all over again. So
So, oh, okay.
isn't that Amber's attorney, Gloria Allred? Isn't she?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is what I was going to say. When I was looking for it from your old network, they also have a piece on it. But as soon as I figured out that wasn't the one, because I was trying to get a little bit more backstory since it's been so long, I was like, okay, let's see what I can find out about this.
Somebody could have read it between now and when did she do it? Girl, get it on Audible and I'll read your book. Otherwise,
What if I read it out loud on Audible? We'll do a new book club, and I'll read it out loud, a chapter a night. I will be Amber. I could speak like her.
Yeah, 2009.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna put it up. Hold on.
So
It does say text to speech enabled.
ooh,
Maybe.
I'm not sure I want. Susie Q says, "I'm not sure I want to give my money to the troll."
Not the trollop. I will say, like, she was 100% completely unaware that he was married. And the night of the vigil, when he calls her from Paris, she immediately called police. They did have
so
to
that's
talk her
jumping
in.
ahead.
Yeah, they did have to talk her in to like recording and whatnot. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, but you know, it's like she had, you know, she was really, really working with the police, and like she was shook. Scott had met her child.
Oh. And
Yeah.
so he had her completely not knowing,
I
because she
thought
said
she
he told me
knew.
no.
No. She
He
found out the night of the vigil when he called her from Paris, France. Oh my God, you should
which
see
is
the
what we'll find
Eiffel
out next.
Tower, babe.
That's coming in the next episode. So
Yeah. So it's that night, because that's when all the local police were there, because it was a New Year's Eve vigil. She saw him on the vigil. And then she was like, what the what? That's my boyfriend.
Beanie, I think that's no one else is saying that there's a sound issue. That might be on your end. Is everybody having no issues with the sound? Beanie over in my chat saying that, yeah, I'm not seeing anybody else saying there was a problem.
When I first came on,
Oh.
I had YouTube like on a different tab, so I forgot and I had to close it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about her. I don't know, but you know what? We're not jumping ahead because
That's
episode
true.
2 is
Yeah, we're trying to go episode by episode.
Right. No, but at the end of the episode, that's when we find out about Amber, because he makes the call from Paris. Yes.
So
He did tell Amber that he was a widower.
yeah.
So we shall see.
Yep. And we'll learn more about that next go round.
like weeks, like, you know, maybe because, like, you know, he was just trying to, like, hit it and split it. Because, you know, wouldn't that, if it, like, if he really did plan on illing K her, would he give himself a window like that? Like, you know, I'm a widower. Like, she would know.
Not necessarily, because they had met at a Christmas party of a mutual friends. And it was at that party that he was like, yeah, I'm a widower. You know, my wife passed away. They became intimate, because by this time she's like, this is my boyfriend. And a few weeks later, he's meeting her child.
So yeah, it's going to be interesting to find out more about her.
But
Yes.
she's gonna remember, like, say, like, okay, all right. So what month is it right now? June.
Yes.
Say, like, I meet Scott right now. It's June, and he tells me, "Oh, I'm at a party. Like, you know, he's a widower." So now it's June, and then, like, you know, I start dating him, and then months later, it comes out that, like, she was still alive. That wouldn't make sense.
Hold on, I'll tell you when they met.
She would know that the timeline wouldn't have worked. If she's if
They met
if Lacey was still
on.
alive for weeks.
Okay, so
When?
they met November 20th of 2022. At
November
that
20th of
time, he had told
2020.
her, I'm single.
Okay, so she dies on Christmas. She disappears on the 24th. So they meet for the first time on November 22nd. So,
November
like,
20th of 02.
So they
yeah,
met in
that's
02.
that's 1 month.
Right.
Yes.
Because Lacey dies. No, wait, Lacey dies Christmas Eve, 2022.
So they
So
met Thanksgiving-ish.
No, not Thanksgiving-ish. Right, yeah, right.
November.
So what was it, the 22nd you're saying?
November 20th, 20 of 2022.
There was so a little over a month, 5 weeks.
Right.
Lacey, so Scott meets Amber at a party, and he tells, first time ever, doesn't know who she is.
Right.
And he's so enamored with this Amber that he tells her that he's already a widower, and, you know, fuck his wife that he loves, that is pregnant
And
for
he has
8
no
months.
children.
Yeah, see, that's the struggle is coming. It's yep.
Because, all right, according to this,
It was 4 weeks. It was all right, 5 weeks. He met
all right,
everything was fine with Scott and Lacey. Perfect life. Just got pregnant. Beautiful home. Has a fucking pool.
She's
Barbecue pit. The fucking nines. Golf memberships. Beautiful life. Rich
right.
hibbity bibbity parents. And then
But
you
they were,
know,
he was set up on a blind date.
Lacey is now 7 months pregnant, so we're going back 5 weeks. So
Right.
his very pregnant wife still, has the fucking the boat, the nautical theme, and he meets this woman at a party
Hmm.
and just throws it all away. Which he cheated on Lacey, we know that.
Right.
But and 5 weeks, and then he's so enamored with her. Not only does he have to have the affair, but then kill her, kill his wife and kid.
Right.
I
Because in Sharon Roach's book, she was like, he didn't have to kill her. Divorce was always could have been an option. He could have divorced her.
And
What
I
could he have gotten in 4 weeks from this woman? Like,
did
what did she taste like candy? Like, I don't
I mean,
understand it.
he was whining her, dining her, late night talks, really, you know, more
maybe
than a one night stand.
maybe he
He
was seeking
considered him her boyfriend.
maybe
No,
he was
it's sick. Like, I can't, like, and I told you I'm gonna struggle with this myself because like I'm just sitting here because when you talk about this, I mean he's fucking like this is disgusting, and like you wish nothing but the worst for him as I'm wishing
Right.
for him right now. I'm like, why are you even like giving this guy a chance? But then there are also certain things I have a problem with, like with this burglary and the changing of the fucking dates and like the witnesses that saw her walking the goddamn dog. Like,
True.
it's on both sides for me.
Right.
yep.
But which I'm not going to go into, but when Amber comes forward, that's when the whole thing changed.
Well, you know what? Let's just not
Yeah,
talk.
no,
Let's
that's
not
all I'm going to
discuss
say about
Amber
it
anymore.
because
That
everything was very circumstantial until she arrived.
Maybe we'll find
Yep.
out more
In
about how
5 weeks.
many. Maybe we'll find out more about how many men cheat on their wives when they're pregnant.
I mean, this is just and like
Yeah, because she's like eight and a
there.
half months pregnant when she goes missing.
And
Like
I
she's
still
close
can't
to due
believe
date.
like he seems like they both like just said like he had it all, man. I mean, they were a good-looking couple, right? Nice cars, nice house, kid on the way. Money didn't
we'll
seem like it was an issue.
we'll find out about that hopefully soon in the next episode.
And for
Great
him just to get
questions.
so wrapped up with this woman that he meets at a party, and all of a sudden, like, I'm a widower. Like he already, like
Yeah.
he introduces
So
himself as she's already dead, and like
yeah,
I have an issue because like she would know once this came out that you lied about it.
yeah.
Like there's no fixing that lie. Like I remember if you were introduced me, hi, I'm John Yates. I'm a recent widower. If that's how you're meeting somebody off the bat,
Hmm.
you can't take that back. So how are you going to explain? You introduced yourself as a widower, but your wife just died last night, huh? I've known you
Hmm.
for a month already. How
Right.
did
She
and
was
like
due in
if Scott is this
February.
calculated, that Scott, you would have think that Scott would have tried to cover that base somehow. My head's spinning.
Yeah. But she was due February 10th of 2003. So
Patricia
she's
says
got like what, 6 weeks left?
That's what I was thinking. Like he like wait, what Rita said.
sorry.
Because I'm
Yeah.
like, was he just trying to hit it and split it? Like that's what I was thinking. Like maybe like he just wanted to like get some like so a little nookie at some party on the side without like at first, but clearly it
But
turned
then
into more than it's
yeah,
turned into
if
more than
he
that.
if he met the kid,
Right. I mean, single moms don't introduce their children or shouldn't introduce their children to, every fling because that person is going to be involved in that, their child's life to whatever extent. And I
Oh
think
Lord.
that he traveled a lot
th-
for business, so it wasn't uncommon for him to be out of town.
uh, this is
John, you
something to
look
make.
rocked. You're like, what the what?
It'll be the next episode is going to really be amazing for us to sit here
But
and
I
try to.
try, I really try to make sense out of everything that I can make, and like it is just, you can't be in the middle with this. It's like I don't, it's either like he did it or he didn't. Like every part of me, it's just like I
Yeah.
feel like I'm split
I
down the
would
middle.
love to know
I can't
what
like I
cleared the two men of the, like, okay, we're accusing these two white guys. What cleared them of the murder charges versus they're in jail for
No,
robbery?
they didn't have to worry about any murder charges because they just robbed the house and stole a safe and it
Right.
was
Yeah,
But
quickly glossed
what
over.
made them be cleared? Like, oh no,
I
no.
because
We
they
were
said it
too
was
busy
on the
robbing,
26th.
Yeah, they
407
said it was on
Jones
the
Street.
26th.
Because they said it was on the 20. They told the police that they did it on the 26th.
Which that kind of makes sense. I mean, day after,
It
got all
doesn't
the
make
presents
sense.
there, all the
No,
presents are open.
it
No,
doesn't make
because
sense.
it was already like a media frenzy there.
Yes,
That
and
reporter said, but if it happened on the 26th, I was there all day, all night. I would have walked up to him and interviewed him myself
yep.
because there's no way anybody could have robbed anybody on that street on that day.
And this was 7 years
So,
ago. This is 7 years
Yeah.
ago before Innocence Project got into this, which was a good point that John made. So now looking at this from 7 years ago and what's happening now with the Innocence Project coming in,
Right.
that's why I'm starting to really look at this, at that part, the van part, all these things, and seeing what that does for as we dive into this too. And then we'll go. We also like
oh
Raken, I
no
think
no
you do
no,
it.
OJ definitely did it. I never wavered on that. I never said. You
No,
know
I
what,
had
John? I
no.
think OJ's innocent. No no no. Please no. The only reason why again I question it is because I did watch this 4 years ago, and I was like, yeah, they make some good points.
Yeah.
Um,
But I
and
am
that's why.
truly going in with an open mind. I'm like, okay, but the first episode didn't do anything to sway me. Hey, Anna.
Hey
Hi,
Anna,
Anna.
because I think we're about to end this because I am tired and I'm
Yep.
hungry.
Yep.
Um, and we've been on for 2 hours, so I think we
Yep.
did
Yeah. Well,
a
thanks
lot
for
better
having
for
me up.
like the
I
main
appreciate it.
employees.
Thank you,
I
Wicked.
appreciate
Of
it.
course.
Yeah.
And so Wicked, I think we'll be live since you're here. I think maybe Monday night for Jersey, and
Okay.
we'll either be doing 90 Day Tuesday or Wednesday. I haven't decided on that. Just keeping you in the
Okay.
loop.
And when are you doing episode 2 of this?
It will be either Tuesday or Wednesday.
Okay.
I'm probably leaning more towards Tuesday because it feels
Okay.
like Wednesday is too big of a gap.
No, because we also do need time to
Oh, you
take
know what? Then
notes.
Wednesday. Okay,
Yeah.
then Wednesday it is.
This
Wednesday.
whole new role at work, like I haven't been in anyone's chats, and they're like, I thought you were. No, I don't have any downtime now.
Yeah, no, we'll do it Wednesday night. So yeah,
That works.
it'll give us more time.
I'll
And
be
so
listening.
All right.
you have to watch episode 2 and episode 2 only. Everybody, and then we'll do that Wednesday night. I'll set it up when we get off, and then we'll do it at 9 because 8's a little too early for me. I like 9 better, so we'll do 9. So
That's
thanks
still-
everybody for being here, and don't forget to write Scott Peterson a love note. Tell him how much you love him.
No, you know how much it did my heart justice to know that his cell was facing the bay that his wife was found in. My heart's a little pitter patter, like little love notes all over.
I wonder if that was on purpose.
I don't know. But okay.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
This was awesome.
everybody.
Thanks for having me up.
Take
Appreciate
care.
it.
Bye, everybody. Have a good night.
I'm waving as if you all can see me.
I feel you waving. Bye, everybody.
I